Hello everyone, this is Darvesh Khan, Subject Specialist English. We are here with a new video that is lecture number 16. Lecture number 16 is about the second type of phrase. What is that? Verb phrase. Phrase actually has two main parts. One is dependent and the first one that is head. Head is that part which is actually compulsory, while dependent is that part which is actually optional. So optional part is not that needed in a phrase, but rather we consider that if a phrase is a noun phrase, noun must be the head part. If a phrase is a verb phrase, then verb must be the head part. So in a verb phrase, we have verb is the head of the phrase. If verb is used as the head of the phrase, then we say VP is the contraction of verb phrase. So verb is the head of the verb phrase. For example, we say phrase is a word or more than a word that does not form any formal structure of subject plus verb. So subject plus verb structure is not followed. Without that, we say verb, a word which is called a verb. That verb is head is called verb phrase. For example, I say play. What is this word? It's play. Play is actually a verb. But this verb is one word, but it plays the role of head. In which phrase? In verb phrase. Now there are many dependents that we use with the verb. For example, in the beginning, you know very well that we use adverb in order to define a verb. We use adverb plus verb. Adverb plus verb is a structure that means that adverb plays the role of dependent and verb plays the role of head. Verb is compulsory in a verb phrase, while adverb, which is dependent in this phrase, adverb plus verb is equal to verb phrase. Therefore, I want to give you some examples. The example of adverb plus verb, there is always smile. If there is no formal structure of subject plus verb, but rather there smile and always smile. So we say that smile is a verb which is head, because this smile does not define always. Always talks about smile. It means that always is an adverb of frequency. So it's an adverb. This adverb plays the role of dependent in this phrase. What is this phrase called then? This phrase is called verb phrase. So the second structure is also clear with us. Now, let me say about the third very structure that that verb forms. We use verb plus a noun phrase, which is equal to verb phrase. Verb is head and noun phrase is dependent. So we use noun phrase as dependent in a verb phrase. How? I say play, let me write teach English. English is actually a noun, but this noun is prone to, it is subject to teach. Teach is a verb, but this verb is much important than the noun English. This noun is dependent while this verb is head. If verb is head in a phrase, then the phrase is called verb phrase. So English is noun phrase which is dependent on verb. What is that? That is teach. Next example. In a verb phrase, we say verb plus adjective phrase is equal to verb phrase. It means adjective phrase also plays the role of dependent in a verb phrase. So if in a verb phrase it plays the role of dependent, then verb must be had. For example, she is beautiful. So she is subject in this class. Is verb, and beautiful is adjective. This adjective is beautiful in this class is beautiful. It's called verb phrase because is head, while beautiful is an adjective, and this adjective plays the role of dependent. So verb plus adjective phrase. Now, another structure that I want to use here, that is in a verb phrase. What is that? Verb plus prepositional phrase. It means verb entails prepositional phrase. If verb entails prepositional phrase, so we know very well that in a verb phrase, prepositional phrase is called dependent. And if it is dependent, that means that verb must be the head part. If verb is the head part, then the example of it is this: go and teach in the class. In the class is dependent to the verb. What is that? That is teach. Teach is head in a verb phrase. The last is that we also use adverb phrase as dependent before it and after it. If we use verb and after verb there is an adverb, this adverb is used to qualify verb, to talk about verb, to define verb. It means that this adverb phrase is called dependent. If it is called dependent, it means that it is used after it. Then we call it post modifier because it modifies a verb and it is used after. And it is also used if I use an adverb before a verb to define a verb, then it is also called pre-modifier. For example, always walk slowly. Always walk slowly. It means that this adverb is dependent. The first adverb, which is used before this verb, is dependent, and walk is actually a verb which plays the role of head. Then the phrase is called verb phrase. I hope so. You are very clear about the concept of verb phrase. Now, at the end of the very lecture, I would say that we discussed about verb as head in verb phrase. We discussed about verb plus noun phrase as verb phrase, considering verb as head. Verb plus adjective phrase, considering adjective phrase as dependent. Verb plus adverb phrase, considering verb as head. Adverb phrase plus verb, considering verb as head, is called verb phrase. Then verb plus prepositional phrase, considering verb as head. These are some structures that we have already discussed about. Therefore, you are hereby requested that let me just use one example, and I hope so. Verb play, verb plus noun plays, play cricket. Verb plus adjective phrase, I say look beautiful. Then I say verb plus adverb. Phrase, play furiously. Then I say adverb phrase, always. Yeah, never. Never play. And verb plus preposition, phrase, play with me. These are some examples of verb phrase. I hope so. You're very clear about the concept of verb phrase. If you have any question, any kind of comment, please do share with us in our comment. Subscribe this channel, watch this video and like it. Thank you so much.